Hello, this is SSG Apogostic here, bringing you a video review of The Last of Us, where you play as this incredibly handsome 40-something-year-old Joel, and escort this less than adorable 14-year-old girl Ellie through a maze of streets and buildings filled with creatures like this, which are constantly trying to kill you. Picture extremely related. Anyway, let's take it to the gameplay. Now, The Last of Us is a survival horror action game created by Naughty Dog for the PS3 and was officially released here in England yesterday. And after completing it, I thought, hey, why not review it for all our fans out there? So the story of the game is all spoilers. I'm sorry, I'm not at liberty to tell you why Joel is escorting Ellie or what their end goal is. I will, however, talk about the quality of the game and how it's made me feel over the past few days of playing it. First off, I'd like to say that it's a very good looking game, as you can see here. Naughty Dog really outdid themselves on this in making a game that looks better than any of the Uncharted games, but maybe that's due to the fact that in this they're going for gritty realism and not a light-hearted action game. The art style reflects this, as Uncharted was somewhat cartoony at times, I could think. The tone and atmosphere in this game are set especially well. You're thrown in a world with such little hope, a world full of people who will put themselves at an advantage by killing other people and stealing what they have. It's an incredibly bleak setting. There's a militant government who enforce strict curfews and execute civilians for breaking the most minor of rules, and obviously there's a large host of infected citizens in the world outside the quarantine zones who want nothing more than to spread the cordyceps fungus to other humans. So it's delightful. And the game gives you constant reminders of the lost humanity with pretty much every group of humans you stumble into, that all of them are pretty much dicks, or have some qualities that make you think, well, these aren't very nice people. I don't want to hang out with these people. What are they doing? And there's a lot of chilling reminders along the way that a lot of innocent people have been lost to the plague, despite everyone's efforts to preserve those that they love. Now, the characters in this game are interesting. They have the moments of being cliched, but they never stumble completely into the area of boring or unoriginal, in part thanks to the wonderful voice acting, which is constant throughout the game. Everybody seems to deliver the lines well, and the direction from Naughty Dog will no doubt serve as a reason for this. Anybody expecting subpar cinematics would be stupid. Yeah, the dialogue's pretty well written for a game. Going through it, I seem to think that some games out there, you listen to them and it's kind of generic schlock that they're going through, and you get bored. You think, well, real people don't talk like this, real people don't act like this, but Naughty Dog have made this game extremely believable, and while I was playing through it, I did at times think, well, this is a really believable world. I can expect this to happen. This is something that I could honestly believe could happen. And everything about the game reflects that. Now, the game borders on morbid frequently. It's not afraid to hold gruesome death in your face, and there's sometimes areas littered with bodies, and the action's incredibly visceral at times. You can attack people with melee weapons, and entire chunks of their faces will come off. Some of the enemies will grab you and tear chunks out of your neck and kill you in effectively one hit, which makes the game extremely difficult at times. Now, even in the underwater sections of the game, there's sometimes bodies floating in the water, and the underwater sections of the game are incredibly beautiful. There's nothing like it. I've seen some beautiful things in games, and for just being underwater, you can be swimming on this game, and then you go underwater, and instantly everything looks so serene, such a contrast with the world, this world that's fallen apart, that lies above the water. And aside from the trees, which admittedly don't look very good in this game, and some of the water effects, Naughty Dog have really done pretty good for 720p, as it pretty much trumps every other game on the PlayStation for graphics. And the gameplay is fairly original. Like the gunplay is like Uncharted, but you have a lot less ammo, and there's a hell of a lot more sway, which makes aiming incredibly difficult. Thus, making stealth the only way you really want to try and kill people on this. At least in most situations, you want to try and be stealthy because you A, don't have a lot of ammo most of the time, and B, on the harder difficulties, you die incredibly quickly. Like that engagement with those zombies a minute ago, if that was on hard, I would have died there. Instead of getting taken down to like a third health, I would have just flat out died. So many times you go into this game and you're like, oh well, there's like 7 guys spread around you, all looking in different directions. You don't know exactly. You want to get around to the one that's behind them all because none of the others are looking at him. And you know if you take down that guy, then you can like chain together a few takedowns. You can just go behind them, grab them, snap their neck, and you know if you fuck it up, if you get spotted by one of them, you've got 7 guys shooting at you, and you're there sometimes with a revolver with 6 bullets. Sometimes you're there with a hunting rifle with 2 bullets and a 9mm with 2 bullets. And you know that if you engage 7 guys, you can't win the fight just shooting your way out of there. So you have to carefully assess what you're going to do and make your way through the game, like hedging your bets as to whether, if I take like 3 of these guys out with stealth, at least then it won't be so bad and I'll have enough bullets to take them down. Or if I take down 2 guys with stealth and maybe I use my bow, and getting a headshot with the bow is an incredibly satisfying thing to do and will kill almost any enemy in one hit. But yeah, you really need to avoid being seen in this game because otherwise you just die so much. Like you struggle to maintain a full health bar on hard at all. You never ever have a full health bar. As soon as you've healed yourself back up to full health, you know in the next engagement you're gonna fuck up somewhere and something's gonna hit you, and you lose so much health for just being hit by one thing in this game that you automatically put at a disadvantage. So for anyone who can handle the heart attacks and the tension that playing this game on hard brings, especially in areas filled with zombies that can kill you in one hit, I'd recommend playing it on hard, like a true hardcore gamer. Though the game isn't without fault. I mean, the AI is extremely susceptible to being fooled sometimes. Throw a bottle right in front of their face, and this pay more attention to where it landed than where it came from, which is pretty stupid. You can approach them from like a 45-degree angle sometimes, and they won't even notice you're there, despite you being right in front of them. As long as you're crouched. If you're crouched, you're practically invisible in this game sometimes. So it makes stealthing extremely easy, up until you get to the point where there's so many guys around that you literally don't know which is the best way to get through. The companion AI will sometimes take ridiculously stupid paths, running right in front of enemies, but the enemies can't see them. The enemy's programmed to not be able to see the AI so that they can't react to it and automatically find you by spotting the stupid AI running a stupid path. Which is okay, because it means that, you're not caught out by absolute bullshit sometimes. But it breaks all immersion when you just see the AI randomly run right in front of an enemy and nothing happens. They don't take any notice of it whatsoever. And there's a few bugs in this game. Randomly, like I've killed a few guys and randomly they've just flown across the map, spinning, doing cartwheels in midair. And I don't know why, but they've done it. It looks fucking retarded. And sometimes when you die, your weapon will flip out all over the place in like the death scene. And just little things like that kind of throw you out of the game a little bit. And it's not particularly long. I clocked it at 12 hours on hard mode due to a fair amount of deaths and a little bit of exploration. And the exploration's fine. Due to how nice the game looks, I don't care too much about it being linear. But if you're wondering, it is an incredibly linear game. Despite having a lot of room to tackle an area or find your way around, you always feel that the walls are guiding you to an endpoint, that there is a definite place that you're heading. You're free to explore as you wish, and you'll find lots of secret things and lots of supplies for crafting, and crafting's pretty cool in this game. You can craft bombs and smoke bombs and melee weapons and shivs and stuff, and you do want to explore to find those things, but it doesn't benefit you greatly exploring, and you can't find more than a couple ways to get through any specific area. But nevertheless, it's a well-made game, and there's some brilliant direction from Naughty Dog. The visuals are absolutely stunning, and the gameplay is intense and gripping and tense, and will leave you shitting yourself at times that you're going to get spotted by an enemy, and it'll result in you dying in a horrific manner. But it's one of the best games I've played over the past few years, despite the apparent lack of AI, and sometimes there's bugs, and it is pretty linear, I'll give you that. But it's definitely one of the best action horrors on the PlayStation, and I recommend picking it up. But so I'm going to leave you guys here. If I had to give it a score, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It may not be perfect, but it's damn good.